Hi, I'm Kevin, and welcome to my podcast, Finding My Freedom, where we talk about what gets us motivated. What do we get up for in the morning? What do we live for? And a few other things in between. Now, I've been lucky enough to have music as a part of my life pretty much my whole life. And I started this platform to tell my story in such a way to where it was a little bit more comfortable for me, audio. You know what I mean? Like, that's just seemed like the most natural place to really tell my story. And in the process, I've had friends and other musicians, come on the show, which has turned it into this really great thing where I could talk with real live, real world musicians and other creatives. You don't have to just play music, and get their perspective on how they've dealt with playing for years and years and years, and just doing the best they can with it. So back in 1996, I went to a school called Music Tech. I believe it's called McAnally Smith College of Music now. But it was basically a trade school where I could go for a year and just play my guitar. I could really concentrate on honing my craft. And I thought, man, it would be so great to meet people that were like me, that we had something in common and all that. And the pretty great thing about it is that, I ended up making lifelong friends there that we're still friends to this day. We might not talk every day, but we check in with each other every once in a while to see how you're doing and all that sort of thing. And little did I know that it would open my eyes to other cultures and other people from other countries. I met a dude from Colombia. Also went to school with a guy from Australia. And there were several guys from Sweden. And I just thought that was so cool. These guys are from Europe, the old country. It's so much older than the U.S. And I never met anybody from Europe or anything like that. So I just really found it fascinating to talk to everybody. And so we all end up becoming friends. And I was right about feeling like I would meet people that I had a lot in common with. And it was great. It was probably the best year of my life. And it was also great training grounds for getting me ready for my new music career that I was about to embark on. So that brings us to my next guest. My next guest is an incredible keyboard player. He went to school with me at Music Tech, and he's from Sweden. His name is Anders Larsson, and I just thought it'd be interesting to hear his story on how he did after he went back to Sweden after being in America for, at least a year. Some of the guys stayed longer, some of them went back right away. Anders and my other buddy Thomas, which we're going to talk to too, I was the closest with those two, and they went right back to Sweden right after school was done. So, but needless to say, we became very fast friends, and we spent a lot of time together playing music, talking about theory and doing nerdy musical things, and it was just a great, great time in my life. So I just thought it would be really cool to hear their perspective and how it went for them when they went back to Sweden. And here we go with Anders Larsson, Swedish keyboard player that I went to school with in Music Tech. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks. Hey Anders, it's great to hear from you. I know it's been a long time, hasn't it? What you been up to, man?
Hey Kevin, long time ago. I've been kind of busy. There's a lot of things at work, and finally the gigs came back from after the pandemic, so it's a lot to do right now.
So you're in Sweden, and I was just wondering, how bad did the pandemic affect all the live music over in your part of the world?
Well, the music scene totally stopped, but the country itself, we had kind of an open approach to the pandemic, but as far as music, it was dead for at least two years, almost 2.5.
Yeah, so it completely shut down, huh? I know it did here in the States. I never in a million years would think that they would cancel music like they did.
Oh, it's the same here. I think we played like maybe 2 or 3 gigs, but it was private parties below 50 people.
Oh yeah, for sure. So do you just want to kind of start from the beginning? Kind of tell everybody how you got your start and where the musical bug kind of came from, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. I don't do this very often, so you can just cut me off and ask me questions if you want to. Well, so it started kind of early, when I was like 4 or 5, I think, maybe 5. And my family is not a particular musical family, except for my sister and brother. They sang a lot, and we didn't have any instruments at home. So my first encounter with an instrument was actually the first day at kindergarten. So it was a big old house, and in the center room where we rested after our dinners, they had a piano. And I went straight up to the piano and said, what is this? So I opened it up and I saw some colors on the keys. And it had a book with the songs, with the, to follow the colors to play songs.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I think I can't remember really. I was only 5 years old, but I remember I'm kind of born in the forest, so I don't like being inside too much. But when I found that piano, they had to like chase me out because I was sitting there every day trying to play the songs. And when I did all the songs in the book, I just tried to come up with my own melodies and stuff. And I think one of the teachers there told my dad that, your son he doesn't want to go out, he just sits by the piano. And finally my dad bought me an instrument. It was one of those double key organs, with the accompaniment, the bossa novas and stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so that's all I had for like 2 years or something. And then my dad and my mom separated, so my mom bought me one of those old organs where you had to pump air into it with your feet. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah. I've never played one, but I've heard. Like.
I still have it in my.
Do you really?
So.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm never gonna get rid of it. So
that's awesome.
And the reason why I don't want to get rid of it is because it's kind of the start of my career. So it's sentimental.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then I think I was around 9. I started a music school here in Sweden. We have, I don't know, do you know anything about the music schools in Sweden?
No, I don't remember anything about that, but I do remember you talking about the schooling and how they sent you over, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So so we have it's a music school that you can go to, and you only pay like 1/10 of the real fee. The rest the state provides. So that's the reason a lot of people ask me why the Swedes are so good at music, and why can we sell so much or have so much bands, and it's because of that. Because a lot of kids have the opportunity to play an instrument.
Yeah, that's awesome, because most of the time people are trying to take music away from the kids, you know. So what do? Do they spot kids with the aptitude for it, or the kids with the interest in it, or a little bit of both for the school?
Well, like it was before, it was once or twice a year they had like a day where you could come to the school and try out all the instruments and see if you were interested in one of them.
Oh, okay.
And so I went there, but I was only interested in piano anyway. So, but I went there and tried some other stuff, and then I enrolled, and I played for, I think it was about maybe 6 months or 8 months or something, and my piano teacher wasn't the best. It was an old. She was actually retired. An old lady who could only play by reading notes. She couldn't play anything by ear, and that was a problem for me.
Yeah. So was she like that really old school, rigid, you know, like you're gonna practice this way for this amount of time, and it's not gonna be fun, and it's a job, and da 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 da. I know that feeling.
Yeah, well, actually, so it was exactly like that. So, well, she wasn't mean or anything, but she just didn't have the ability to play by ear. She could only read music. So that wasn't for me, so I quit there and started practicing at home. And I practiced a lot for myself. I didn't play in any bands until I was like 13, 14 maybe.
Right.
So I'm self-taught from the start.
So were you doing a lot of learning songs by just what you're interested in? Like, did your parents have any kind of input on the type of music you listened to, or any kind of pull that way? Or was it just basically you were on your own?
No, that's the thing. My mom, she's actually interested in music. Like listening to music and trying to sing, but she's kind of tone deaf, and my dad is absolutely tone deaf, and he only listens to Swedish dance band music. It's kind of like it's like your country music,
okay,
but really bad.
So it's not like ABBA or anything, right? Like
no,
that's good, right?
It's like it's softer country music, kind of. Yeah. So I didn't really have any support there, but I didn't care. I just loved to play the piano. And of course, after a few years, I upgraded and bought synthesizers and a couple of keyboards and stuff. And I just learned everything by ear.
Right. So how was the first synthesizer you bought? I mean, you probably still have that too, don't you?
No, I sold it to a friend.
So, do you ever think about like the technology? I mean, that was over 30 years ago, right? So, the technology and the synthesizers from then to now, it's just incredible.
it's unbelievable. The sounds are, but actually there are some of those old synthesizers that are really cool sounds. You know, the sounds come back. People are interested again. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know for guitar, you know, we like tube amps, we like analog. There's certain things that the old technology is really nice for. Do you guys have that in the keyboard field too? Like a certain old sound that you really like, or Are you just kind of, into the new stuff?
No, well, actually, no. I'm so old. I like a lot of sounds for different things. So, but I remember I used to like the analog synthesizers because you kind of create your own sound from scratch.
Okay, so let's talk about the first inkling that you wanted to play in a band. Like, did you have any friends that sort of, coached you into it? Or was it just like, I want to play in a band and I'm going to start meeting people? What brought you into that whole aspect of the playing when you were a teenager?
Oh, that was a hard question. No, I really don't know. It was kind of, I think, when I met Thomas. So we went to school. I think we met when we were like 12 years. And the other school I went to, no one was playing any instruments. So, and when I came to the school that Thomas went to, he was the only one playing there, and he was playing guitar. And so it kind of started. The interest started there because Thomas was playing in different bands.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like, I had a friend who kind of recruited me into his band too, like, we got to do this and we got to do that. So I just kind of went along with it for a while, but I loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Well, because I was kind of a loner when it came to music, because like I said, I was kind of born in the forest. I was always outside, so if I wasn't playing music by myself, I was outside doing stuff, going fishing, So I never really started my own band that early. So
you and Thomas started your first band together then, and did you guys end up getting it far enough to play gigs with?
Well, not really, because we when we were like maybe 14, there was a fundraiser in Trollhättan, and then that was actually the first time we put something together. We said, like, you got to do something on stage.
Right.
We didn't have a name or anything. I don't remember. I don't think so.
Oh yeah, I remember you guys were into that hard rock, the 80s hair band stuff.
Yeah, I still, though I love to play the piano, I really like the 80s rock music. Almost like maybe the harder music, I think.
But it really fit your style, and you were very, very good at it, so it was always fun to watch you play, man.
So it's not. I've always enjoyed playing in different styles of music as well. So I never got stuck to a genre. I just wanted to play everything.
Yeah, man. I know it's nice to keep an open mind to it all.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, if the music is good, I don't care what it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously we can feel it, so we're feeling it. It's always a good time.
Of course.
So you met Thomas, and you guys were playing in a band, playing music that way.
Yeah.
Did that last up until both you guys came to the States, or?
No, actually not, because when we started college, we split up again. Because I can't really remember what he chose, but
okay.
I went to we actually applied for music college together, both me and him. But I had like kind of pressure from my family, my industrial worker father. He's like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Right.
So actually, before I heard anything from them, I took another college instead. So I became a body shop worker, like cars, body work. Yeah. So that's what I did for 2 years. And Thomas, I'm not really sure. I think he went to the Volvo college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and actually, in in the spring before we left the States. Thomas just called me up. We hadn't spoken for like half a year or something. And he's like, "Hey man, you want to go to the States and study music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" That was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was nothing, but I didn't have anything planned, so why not?
Right. So you guys ended up going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And this is where me and you met. I met you and Thomas and probably about 4 or 5 other guys from Sweden.
Yeah. I think you were like the first we met from the house, right? Because you worked. Didn't you do like some janitor jobs and stuff?
Yeah, I was making pizzas at Pizza Hut at the time. So yeah, in the school was called Music Tech at the time, and it's referred to now as McAnally School of Music, and they had a house for musicians to go to, and Anders, you were on the bottom floor, and I was in a different apartment on the top floor, and that's sort of how we met. We were just kind of hanging out, having a few beers, and started talking, and hit it off pretty good.
Yeah, it was love at first sight, man. No, actually, it was. It all felt very natural, like a cool, calm guy. So.
No, it was great too for like me, because I never met anybody or really hung out with anybody from Europe, you know what I mean? And I never in a million years thought that was going to happen. So I was just like over the moon, you know, just so curious.
Exotic.
Yeah, right. The Swedes, you know.
The fucking Swedes. Yeah, that was good times.
So we used to jam a little bit. In the basement, they had those practice rooms. You remember those?
Yeah.
And you were playing with a couple of guys that were very technically good players, and we would all jam every once in a while, wasn't that?
Yeah, that's right.
And it was just a lot of fun, man. Like who gets to go to school full time and not take an English or a math class and just play music all day, you know?
Yeah, it was perfect. I really loved the school as well and the teachers. So it was really, really fun. And all my friends as well.
So I don't know about you, but like at the end of school, I was actually able to start my music career. That's kind of how I feel like I started actually seriously, you know, I actually started making a living at it.
Oh, you did? Right after school?
Yeah, like it was about 6 months in, and I had one gig that led to another gig that led to me going on the road for a couple years.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't actually the same for me, because I when I went home, I had to do something. Of course, I had to find a job or something. But it was kind of hard to find one right away when you were young. So and I got some help from the city of Trollhättan, and they put me in. I don't know what you call it, like a trainee. You go with someone who has a job, and you help them out like an assistant. And I ended up in elementary school, is it called? What's the age for elementary school?
I think it's like 5 to 12, or 11 or 12, or something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. The kids were like 11, 12 years old.
Okay.
So I was there for like half a year, and that's actually the first time I got interested in teaching as well, because the regular music teacher was gone a lot. He was sick, so I had to fill in for him those classes.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. So you were actually filling in for a whole class. It wasn't like private lessons or anything.
Yeah. So that's how I started my teaching career.
Wow, that is so cool. And how long was that before they started letting you fill in then?
Well, I think I was there for like 2 weeks.
Wow, that's so cool, dude.
So, but it was only a couple of classes a week. And at the same time, I started playing some bands, like soul band, pop band, stuff like that. And I was there for like a half a year, and then I started working at the famous factory of Saab.
Oh, how was that?
That was interesting. I was there for only like a year and 2 months or something.
It's gotta be some hard work, though, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was hard, but it was kind of boring because you did the same thing over and over and over again. Finally, I just went to my boss and I said, I can't do this anymore. I quit.
Oh yeah, and doing that kind of job is just a slow death for us creative types, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, awful. And then I worked with a few guys that was like their dream job to go to work and do the same thing every day. And I was like, I was feeling sick in the morning the last few months, and I was like, oh, shit, man, I can't do this.
Oh yeah, I feel you with that one. So it sounds like you just did what you had to do to get through it, and basically until you couldn't do it anymore, huh?
Yeah, I had to make some money. Actually, that was it. And then
It seems with this career that there's a lot of that, that's like a cycle, right?
Yeah.
Like instead of people thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to climb up the ladder and it gets better and better. It's like, well, okay, sometimes you have to go back to the beginning and get things straightened out that you need and then start again and then go farther and then start again and then go.
That's the life of a normal musician. So you usually don't get the good jobs right at once. So
right.
So I quit there and I decided to keep on studying music. So I actually moved with another guy to Stockholm.
Uh-huh.
And started studying music there. It's kind of the same concept with the school as music tech, but it was nowhere near as good.
Oh, really? So was it a little stiffer, or like how would you say it was nowhere near as good?
Yeah, it was a lot stiffer because the teachers at music tech really cared about what you wanted to learn and your progression and stuff. And the teachers here in Sweden, it was just an extra job for them. So they were musicians themselves.
Oh, I got you.
So it was, but it was good. It was up to myself to practice. I had some good help from there as well.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about talking to us musicians who've been just grinding it out year after year after year, how we find our inspiration and to be able to chase what we love, even, you know what I mean? Like even when things get tough.
Yeah, but it all came like natural to me. Like I said, I couldn't live without music, so it wasn't like really a choice.
Yeah, no, it definitely picks you. So
yeah.
So how long outside of music tech were you at this point, and where was your next step after all of that?
Maybe it was like now 3 or 4 years, maybe. I think it was like 3.5 maybe. And I went there and studied. So after that, I played in a couple of bands up there in Stockholm. And after that, I went home and I started studying regular studies. Like, I had to, because I chose the college for body shop on cars. I missed some like math and Swedish and stuff, so I had to go back to school again for like a half a year. And then, I started a couple of bands again. I started playing more and more. And then I think it was, I can't really remember, one day, anyways, an opportunity came to become a substitute music teacher. So work like 50% at our music school here in Trollhättan. So I applied and I got it.
Nice.
And so I worked there for a half a year at first. And then I really didn't know if I was going to be allowed to continue. So I was searching for like other stuff to do, other bands. And then I got into a touring cover band and we toured Sweden and Norway, mostly Norway. And I did that for a long time, but it was kind of hard work because they wanted to keep me at the music school. So I had to work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday there. And then I went touring Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and got home on Sunday night around maybe 11. And I had to go up Monday morning at like 6, 7 to go to work. That was tough times.
Yeah, it's hard work. You have odd hours and have to get up in the morning. It's tough.
And actually, I did it for like 5 years, I think. And then I realized that I can't do this anymore, the double jobs. And then actually the music school asked me to come work for them full time.
Nice.
So I was thinking for a while, so am I going to do this, or is this going to be like boring, like working on Saab and stuff? But I said yes, and I haven't regretted it yet. So
That's awesome. So,
yeah.
How long have you been doing that teaching gig?
Oh, it's actually this month is 20 years.
Wow. Congratulations, man. Thanks, man. Incredible.
That's a long time.
Yes, it is, my friend. So did you come up with your own lesson plans then?
Yeah, well, I took a lot of stuff that I liked from my old teacher, Russell Hoffman, music tech. So I think he did a really good job, and it seems to be working here in Sweden as well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So and now that I've been doing it for so long, so I had a break from playing. I was kind of tired of it because I got sick. When I came into bars, I kept feeling bad. I was like, I don't want to be here. So I quit playing for like, not quit playing, but quit playing bands for 5 years. I was like, I didn't have a set date for it, but I wanted to feel, like I wanted to play again. So it took me 5 years before I started the next band that I'm in.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that too. I know if you've been doing this for any length of time, there are just times when you just go through it, man, and you got to take a break or whatever,
Yeah, so it wasn't probably the best thing to work every day of the week for so many years, and don't have any vacation because it's the summertime when I was off from work. That was like the best time for gigs. So then instead of me working when I was on vacation from my regular work, I was playing maybe Tuesday to Sunday or something. So I never had any days off.
Yeah, man, it's tough. Did you ever do any recording over the years or get into that whole aspect of the musical scene or not?
No, not original stuff, only like the band promotion stuff. So I've been some freelancing, done some recording for other people, but nothing on my own really.
Yeah, same here. I've done a lot of freelance work, I got hired to play a lot, but I never really wrote a whole lot myself, so.
Maybe in a few years.
Right. Well, hey, buddy, it's really great talking to you, man, and I really enjoyed this conversation. So, definitely come back.
Of course. I
We
will
need
now.
you to come back for sure.
Of course.
And, we will talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, man.
All right. Straight from Sweden, Anders Larsson, keyboard player and teacher and an awesome friend. And I tell you, it was so much fun to reconnect, and we haven't literally physically talked since, I think 2019 we talked a little bit on the phone. But other than that, it's just been through correspondence, through text and stuff, which is always fun too. So this was a really, really great time. And once again, I wanted to say thank you guys for listening and checking this out. And I hope you stick around for the next one.